Hi friends, welcome to this practice called Jumpstart Your Day. It is a short warming practice that is intended to bring you a layer of space and clarity for whatever it is that your day might present. I'm going to invite you to begin with me in a kneeling position. And I know for some of us that is a no-fly zone, so if kneeling is not on the menu for you, feel free to sit in any way that makes sense for your body, and we'll get going right away. If you're up for a little added sensation to begin, I'm going to recommend lifting up high enough you can tuck your toes beneath you, resting your weight back into your heels and softening your shoulders down out of your ears. Relax your fingertips down to the floor and feel a lengthening through your spine all the way up to the very crown of your head. Take a big inhale and sweep your arms up overhead, feeling a slow reach through your sides. And as your exhale comes, turn your palms over and swim down like the air resisted you. We're going to do this twice more. Slow inhale, big reach through your sides, through your shoulders. And like the air resisted you, exhale, bring it all the way down. We'll do that one more time. Slow reach, big stretch. And a slow exhale, bringing it all the way down. And even though that was just a moment for a lot of us, we will be very happy now to untuck the toes for a moment, resting hips again back into heels. You could change in any moment that the kneeling position isn't working for you. And just bring your attention inside onto your breath for a moment. Witness your ability to sculpt the breath and bring it to a full spectrum, a full three-dimensional shape. Feel your inhales filling into your belly, your side ribs, your back, and finally up into your chest. And feel the patience of your exhales releasing slowly and completely. Consider starting this practice, maybe this day, off with the idea of a dedication or an intention that means something to this chapter of your story. And the next time you exhale, flutter your eyes open. We'll lift our weight up off our feet and right away step onto our feet, bringing just a little bit of space into the knees and dangling the upper body over the lower body. I recommend bringing enough bend into the knees that you can touch the floor with your fingertips, whatever that's going to be for you. And you might even feel it out with a couple soft sort of pedal actions like we often do in a downward facing dog, just seeing what it feels like to softly straighten one leg and then the other, pulling it toward straight, not necessarily expecting it to be straight. Take a big breath into the backside of your body, into the outer edges of your ribs. Bring a dramatic bend into your knees if it's not there already, and when your next inhale comes, roll all the way up to stand. Now, if you've landed in the middle of your mat, as I have, you might walk yourself softly forward. Bring your feet about as wide as your hips and soften your shoulders down out of your ears. When your inhale comes, stretch high. When your exhale comes, keep your chest open and bow. Take your time. Halfway up with an inhale, pulling chest forward. And then exhale, find a simple fold. We're going to step our right foot all the way back into a runner's type lunge. Your fingertips can stay to the floor, and if you have blocks and you like to use blocks, bring those guys right in under your shoulders so your arms get a bit longer. Pull some strength through your back leg, so your back femur bone is lifting high and you're sinking nicely into your front hip until there's a bit of resistance. Pull your chest forward and your shoulders back from your ears, and take one more. Good, and then pushing into your left foot, step your right foot up to meet it, come halfway up. Take a simple fold. Left foot back this time, same. So we're keeping a softness in the hips. There might even be a little bit of a bounce, some strength in the back leg, and some integrity in the center. So you're able to support yourself, pulling your belly up and in, pulling your chest forward and through. Take one more big breath. Good, you can either push into your right foot and step forward. We're going to do this whole thing one more round. You can find some buoyancy in your legs if this is interesting to you, and switch to the other side. Little jump switch. Pull your shoulders back from your ears, energize your back leg, lift high on your back heel. One more big breath. And then same thing, step down through your left foot, bring your right foot forward, change sides, or get a little bounce, a little play, and change. Pull your heart forward, shoulders back, feeling a little bit of heat. And this time when your exhale comes, we will move blocks if we have elected to bring them onto the mat and step all the way back to a downward facing dog. A big wide spread of your fingers when you get here. A press from your heart down through your hands to really stabilize through your shoulders. And then really listen to the animal of your body and decide if maybe a little pedal feels good or maybe a little sway. Some of us really like to play with the peppering of lifting up high onto tippy toes, softening heels down to the floor. See how that feels for you. When your inhale comes next, wave and ripple your body forward till shoulders are up over wrists. Your knees can come down right away. We're gonna hold this guy for 3 breaths. So not the breath, the posture, lifting the front of your hip points in towards your lower rib cage. So there's a low belly corset squeeze of our low core body. Take one more big breath here. Keep pulling your heart forward and through, and as your exhale comes, come down to the mat with control. Awesome. Inhale to roll your chest open, and then exhale, meet me back in down dog. You can definitely move through all 4s. Hands are gonna stay plugged to the mat with a big inhale, sweep your right leg high to the sky. And when your exhale comes, step your right foot through to your hands. We're gonna lower the left knee down to the mat. Back toe tucked or untucked. Find a slow sweep of arms high to the sky. Finding yourself into a space where we can sink with care so that we're not losing the integrity of the lift of the front of our pelvis. We're gonna bring our right thumb into our right hip crease, and with an exhale, we're gonna lean slightly over to the right with our left arm. One more big full breath. Good, when your exhale comes, both hands come down to frame your front foot. Again, you're more than welcome to use blocks if they serve you. Pick up your back knee, and then squeeze your front leg towards straight. Hug and scissor inner thighs toward one another, so you're spiraling your hips toward a square position facing the front of the mat, and then lengthen from your low spine through your heart. One more big breath here. Good, when your exhale comes, we'll rebend through our front knee, hands come down to plug the mat, and you're gonna reach your right leg high up into the sky, 3-legged downward dog. It might feel good to bend your knee, lift your hip open, and use an exhale to replace right foot beside left foot, regular downward dog. This is a great place to continue to explore your dog pose, pedal, sway, play, or heat it up a little by inhaling forward to find a plank pose, and exhale, release to the mat with control. Cobra pose, high or low. Downward facing dog will return. Left leg rises with an in-breath, 3-legged dog. Exhale, step your left foot through to the front and lower your right knee. Back toe tucked or untucked. Find a slow sweep of arms high to the sky. When you feel stable, bring left thumb into left hip crease. This helps anchor our hips. And use an exhale to stretch your upper body over toward the left, right arm reaching across center. One more big breath here. Good, when your exhale comes, hands come down to touch the mat or your blocks. You're gonna tuck the back toe if it isn't already to lift the knee and pull your front leg towards straight. Hug your right hip point forward and tack your left hip point back so your hips are moving towards squarish at the front of the mat, and then lengthen your heart toward and beyond the front edge. Last big breath. When your exhale comes, a bend back through your front knee, hands come to frame this foot, and your left leg is gonna stretch into the sky behind you. Maybe or maybe not, you bend your knee and open your hip, using an exhale to collect again, left foot beside right. Definitely a great opportunity now to continue to explore the dog pose, to take a moment for yourself in something a little more subtle, like a puppy dog or a child's, or move forward with an in-breath to keep your heat, plank pose. Exhale, release with control. Cobra pose or up dog if you love that. And then downward facing dog we go. Big breath in, full breath out. The bottom of the next exhale, walk or step toward the top of the mat. When you get here, inhale your chest up halfway. And then exhale, release and fold. Arms to the sky with a big full breath. And then exhale, bring your hands through your heart. Good, we'll find a change. Inhale to lift high. And exhale, soften into your knees, chair pose. So the knees become soft, but not the strength at the center. Pick up through the center, soften your shoulders a bit down out of your ears. The next time you exhale, spiral your hands around. You can rest them to the back of your hips, or if it's available, you're gonna thread your fingers together and peel your entire chest open. Take one more big full breath, and then exhale, release everything and fold. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, find a simple fold. Good, we're gonna roll back to stand. Inhale, roll all the way back up to stand. And exhale, shoulders back and down. Bring your hands into your heart, transfer your weight softly into the left foot. And with an inhale, slowly, we're stepping back with the right foot to a very controlled crescent lunge pose. Draw your belly in for support. Arms can reach high to the sky, or if it was working for you in the chair pose, you're gonna come back to that bound place of our lunge, shoulders peeling open, chest peeling wide. One more big full breath here. Good, when your exhale comes, pivot your back heel down, spread your arms forward and back, warrior two. Shoulders soften down out of the ears. Long, fluid, full breaths into the places that start to feel warm. Good, when your exhale comes next, front elbow down to front thigh, back arm straight up out of the shoulder or over the top ear. If shoulders are a pesky place for you today, hand onto the hip is a great place to explore. Full body breath, one more. Good, when your exhale comes, both hands come down, inner edge of front foot. You're gonna pivot all 10 toes to face the long edge of the mat and take a deep squat into your right knee. Some of us even like to fan up our left toes. I'm gonna leave that to you. Long full breath here. Good, when your exhale comes, we're gonna walk our way forward again. Pivot everything till you're facing the front of the mat. Plug your hands in and step front foot back, downward facing dog. We're back to our buffet. So you can take a vinyasa or skip it. Stay here, find child's pose, puppy dog pose, or ripple forward with an inhale. Exhale, use the whole breath to come down with control. Cobra pose or up dog. And we draw back to downward facing dog. Look forward to your hands, walk or step to the top of the mat. Come halfway up when you get here. And then take a slow dive. Arms to the sky, big slow breath. Exhale your hands through your heart. Good, we'll find change again. Inhale, lifting high. Exhale, softening into your knees, chair pose. Shoulders down out of the ears. Use your exhale to bring your hands back around. You can touch the back of your hips or find the binding. Threading fingers, pulling elbows together and open your chest. Notice how this wants to lift your rib cage. Muscularly soften the rib cage back into the body. As your exhale comes, release. Halfway up. Take a fold. Bend your knees a lot. Inhale, roll to stand. Exhale, soften everything back and down. Bring your hands into center, transfer weight into your right foot. Left foot steps back into a high lunge pose. Pull the front edge of your belly in, lifting hip points up toward low rib cage. Hands can rise. You can find a binding if that works for you. Peel open your chest. One more long, deep, purposeful breath here. And then when your exhale comes, pivot your back heel down and spread your arms wide, warrior two. You might need to heel toe like me if it doesn't land quite perfectly. Very little in life does. Stretch through your chest, fingertip to fingertip, sitting into the heat of our legs. When your next exhale comes, front elbow to front thigh, back arm either straight up out of the shoulder, over the top ear. You can always give the shoulder a break if it needs a moment. When your exhale comes, both hands come down, inner edge of front foot. We're gonna walk till all 10 toes face the long edge of the mat. We're into a pivot. And when your exhale comes, we're taking a deep squat through our left side. Reach your heart forward, clear one more big breath. Taking the low road all the way back up to the front. Pivot on feet, plug your hands, step front foot back, downward facing dog. Maybe skip the vinyasa or keep yourself in a rhythm with your own breath. Remember, the breath is the boss. So the body follows the breath. Plank pose, cobra or up dog, downward facing dog we go. Big breath in, full body breath out. And look forward to your hands, walk or step to the top of the mat. Halfway up when we get here. And then we take a fold. Arms to the sky, big stretch. Exhale your hands through your heart. Okay, we're gonna layer on, same bit different. Inhale, lift high. Exhale, sink into your knees, chair pose. Inhale, lengthen through your sides, and exhale, bring your hands back around in the variation of your bind. If hands are just resting to the back of the hips, that's beautiful. Reaching open through the collarbones, big full breath. Good, transfer your weight into your left foot and step your right foot back into a variation of a lunge pose. If that didn't work out super well, know that you can always readjust, touch the ground, find your foundation, then meet me here. Long, full body breath. Good. When your exhale comes, pivot back, heel down, open everything wide, warrior two. Warrior two is a landing strip this time. We're gonna bring fingertips down to the floor. Know that you can always use blocks. Notice how your bum starts to shift right out from behind you. So pull your hips back into alignment where your hip is right behind your knee, and then walk your fingertips as far forward as is comfortable onto these finger stands, bowing your head toward the floor, variation humbled warrior. Long full body breath. Good, walking fingertips back towards you, pivot all 10 toes to face the long edge of the mat, deep squat into your right knee. And if you feel stable, flying your arms wide, variation, side squat, Skandanyasana. Use your exhale to bring fingertips back to the floor, re-pivot until you're facing the front of the mat, hands plug, and we step front foot back, downward facing dog. Take or skip the vinyasa, totally up to you. There's lots of vinyasas to come in life. Inhale forward if you'd like. Exhale, release with control. Cobra pose or up dog. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Big breath in, full breath out. Look towards your hands and walk, step, or take a little hop to the top of the mat. Halfway up when you get here, fold and let go. Arms to the sky, big stretch. Exhale your hands to your heart. Almost there, guys. One more. Inhale, lift high. Exhale, soften into your knees, chair pose. Pull the strength of your belly in. Use your exhale to sweep your hands around to a place that's comfy for you. Back of the hips, you're bound together. Roll your heart open. Transfer your weight into your right foot. Step your left foot back into a variation of your crescent lunge, bound lunge. Pull your chest open. Pull your belly up and in, so pelvis is lifting with strength. And then with an exhale, drop your back heel. Let fingertips spread forward and back. Open your chest wide. One more big full body breath. And when your exhale comes, hands come down to the long edge of your mat on the left side. Notice again the way that your bum wants to kick right out from behind you. Pull your femur bone so it's continuously running the length of your mat. Just the same variation as it would be in these standing postures like side angle and warrior two. Keep that. Walk your upper body forward and bow, variation humbled warrior. Good, inhale, lift your chest. Pivot your toes till all 10 toes face the long side of the mat. Use your exhale to bend deeply into your left side. And if you're feeling stable, fly your arms wide. Breathe into the place that feels affected. One more. Good, with an exhale, hands come down. We're gonna take the low road again. Walk along the long edge of the mat, pivot everything till it faces forward, and step back to downward facing dog. Great time to take or completely skip your vinyasa. Inhale forward if you're coming. Exhale, release with control. Cobra pose or up dog. And then we'll come back, downward facing dog. Big breath in, full breath out. From here, you're gonna bend your knees quite a lot. Walk your hands backward to your feet at the back of the mat. From here, take a generous bend in your knees so you're definitely able to have your fingertips to the floor and heel toe your feet away from you until toes can flip into a turnout like a duck. Some of us like to lift high on tippies first as we start to lower our heels down. Know wherever it is that your squat stops is perfect. So we're just working wherever it is that we are. You either have heels popped up, or if it's available, we're gonna sit our buns all the way down. Lift your heart up towards your thumb knuckle. Soften your shoulders down out of your ears. Breathe here for 2. One more. Good, when your exhale comes, lower. And then you might need to slide yourself slightly forward on the mat as I do. And we're gonna fire it up with one more posture. You're gonna bend your knees enough that you can feel your sits bones to the mat. If you're not sure, move a little bit of flesh out of the way. Pull your chest forward. I like to start with tented fingers to support myself. So heart pulls through, and one foot at a time, you're gonna find a bit of balance. Really drawing the front of the belly into the back body. And if you want a little challenge, your feet are gonna rise, shins are gonna rise, and maybe or maybe not arms start to lift as well. You could start to kick the legs into full straight if it felt good. Take one more huge breath. Good. When your exhale comes, bring feet down to the floor. It might feel good to take a soft rounding. Notice the release of your head, of your shoulders, the clarity of your breath. It might feel really good to take a couple audible exhales. Good. Sitting up nice and tall, bring the soles of your feet together. I recommend keeping the diamond of your legs quite open, and we're just gonna start to stir some little circles around the base of our hips and our spine. And it doesn't matter at all, it doesn't matter whatsoever what these circles look like. So yours can be tight and tiny, or they can be big and loopy and expansive. Shaking out the head, the neck, the shoulders, changing directions if it so pleases you. Back into center, and we pause, lifting again. So knees are facing the ceiling. We have lots of room behind ourselves, and we're gonna lower down onto the mat. If you have blocks and you like to use them for things, feel free to bring them with you. Once we get down onto the mat, take a moment to just adjust your back body as need be. When you're ready, we're gonna lift and cross our right foot to the top of our left knee. It was a little bit of a spicy way to wake up the body, so you may or may not be interested in sliding a block ever so lovingly under your left foot. And some of us want more depth, so if it speaks to you to have more depth, hug your left thigh towards you with the clasp of your hands, and then lead the heads of your arm bones and your entire shoulder crest back down to the mat. There is a soft external rotation. I mean, it's not soft, but we don't want to overdo the way that we're externally rotating our right femur bone in our hip socket, but we do want to feel this expression of leading this forward until we're at a comfortable exploration, a comfortable edge. You're going to breathe here for 2. Great. As you exhale, release your left foot to the floor. You might or might not want to kick that block away. Spread your arms out wide in a capital T. Shift your hip ever so softly to the right, and let your left knee and right foot fall to the floor over here on the left side. Your gaze can fall wherever it is that makes sense to you. If this cross does not feel good, uncross right away. If the twist does not feel good to you, prop it up. Put something beneath your knees or between your knees or both. You could even prop it up and put something beneath your foot and your knee if that felt good to you. Take 2 more big breaths here. Good attempt to keep your left leg as it is, uncross and layer your right knee on top of it, just so we can have both femur bones spinning in the same direction for 2 breaths. Good. Inhale, lift up through center. You're going to step your feet wide to the edges of the mat. Recenter your hips right beneath your spine, and sweep and wiper with your knees side to side for just 2 to 3 breaths, depending. And then reset in center, knees point toward the ceiling, feet are back hip distance parallel. We're going to lift and cross our left foot to the top of our right knee. You're going to leave your right foot to the floor. You could prop it up ever so softly, put a block in under this right foot, or for those of us that like a deeper bind of the leg, go ahead and catch the space either behind your right thigh or even in front of your right kneecap if that's something that you love. Find that happy resistance where we're ever so mindfully leading the left shin forward. Breathe into whatever it is that you find. Last one, really deep, really loving, really full with the breath. Good, when your exhale comes, bring your right foot back down to the floor. Use that, if that's helpful, to move your hip softly out to the left and let right leg fall toward right side, left ankle stays crossed and your arms open in this nice surrendering capital T, or maybe even a cactus if you have that mobility in your shoulders. Same things as before. If it doesn't serve you to keep your ankle crossed, by all means uncross sooner. Just notice how the body responds and how the mind responds, and if you can really just give yourself the job of coming back to cultivate and sculpt those rich, deep breaths for just a moment more here. See if you can keep your right leg as it is, uncross your left ankle, let left thigh bone and right thigh bone lie together in this twist. Just a couple breaths here. Good. When your inhale comes, knees come back up through center. We take a moment to rebalance our hips. And if it feels good, hug your knees and your thighs in toward you. And of course, if you want that wiper again on the second side, you can go for that. I'm gonna stay with this simple embrace and allow it to evolve to just really small, soft circles, steering my knees around in a circular shape so that can translate down into the base of my hips and the base of my tailbone. You might be called for a deeper hip or back release in the end, so you could always do something like kick the soles of the feet to the sky, or bend knees and catch feet in a happy baby, or sandwich the soles of the feet together and let your knees fall wide into a bound reclined cobbler's pose. Do anything that makes sense to you, and when you're ready, allow your whole body to spill over the mat for just a couple soft moments of Savasana, final release. And this part is easy to skip. I would really encourage you to just give yourself the minute to be here, to scan from one end to the other. I like to start at my feet, up through my calves and my knees, my thighs, hips and glutes, belly and back, chest and mid, upper back, shoulders, upper arms to elbows, to forearms, to hands, to fingers, the cradle of the back of my head, the softness that I try to create in my face, my jaw, my eyes. Let it soften and let it go. Big breath in, full breath out. Give your body just a moment here to integrate and to be, and just see what it is that the moment might offer you. It would, of course, be my hope you have more time to rest or stretch or breathe. But if this is the space that you need to get up and get after your day, I hope you're doing it with a little bit more space, a little bit more clarity, a little bit more openness. The light that burns within me sees and deeply honorably bows to that same light that burns within you and that makes us the same. Thank you for being here. Namaste.